Hi, good morning. God bless you. Hope you're doing well. Hey, just before I do my lesson with you today on this Saturday morning video, I want to let you know what's going to be happening in the next 3 weeks. The next 3 weeks, Dr. Sam, Dr. Jay, and myself are going to take some turns bringing messages to you, and those are going to lead into the sectional tour for this year. And so the next 3 weeks are going to be a little bit different. It won't just be me teaching some leadership to you. But I'm also going to bring in Dr. Sam, and he's going to talk, and Dr. Jay is going to talk, and then I'll also be having a session. So the next 3 weeks will be a little bit different, so please be ready for that. Well, I hope you're doing well. I hope things are going well for you so far in a new year. It's certainly been eventful already, and here we are on the 9th of January 2021. So welcome, and wanted to talk to you a little bit today about 4 basics that you're going to need to keep in mind as you start a new year of ministry. New year of opportunity, new year of ministry, new year of challenges, and a new year of relationships, new year of victories. Great new year ahead of you, and it's going to have a set of unique challenges attached to it. So let me remind you of a few things that you're going to need to be hanging on to as we go into a new year. God's character and God's love and God's commitment to the church means that He's always preparing us and helping us and testing us and getting us in a position that we need to be so that we can succeed in the opportunities and the challenges in which He affords us. That means that that's true with the church as a whole, and I believe that 2020 wasn't the battle. I believe that 2020 was a year of preparation, a boot camp, if you will, to get us ready for what it is that we're getting ready to walk into. Not everybody makes it through boot camp, but those who do are well equipped for the battle. So here we go in a new year. We've got a whole entire 9 months of training and preparation from the Lord to us to walk into this new year. Let me remind you with 4 simple things to hang on to as we minister together in 2021. First of all, watch your load. Watch how much you're carrying. Watch how much weight you're putting on yourself in your ministry responsibilities. Hebrews 12:1 and 2 says this, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race that is marked out for us." Be mindful of the weight, the stresses, the pressures that you are carrying. Difficult times, challenging circumstances demand more from you. Your margins get thinner. Your ability to handle more gets thinner because more is being put on you and more is being requested of you. More is being required of you in difficult times. More now than ever, doing more does not mean that you're doing better. Just because you have more activity and you're adding more activity and you're putting more activity on your support staff, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing better. As a leader, you're not just carrying your load that you have personally, but you are also impacted by the load that other people around you are carrying. As you counsel, as you mentor, as you preach, as you problem solve, it's not just your stuff. It's a compounding effect as others are walking through their stuff as well, and you're making input and application to those situations. It's a great time, Pastor, to simplify. You can't do it all. You can't meet all the expectations. You can't meet all the demands. You must do what's important, what is consistent with that God-given vision that God gave you for leading that ministry. Scripturally, we know that doing less produces more. In John 15:1-2, it says, "I am the true vine, and my Father is a gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while the branches that does bear fruit, He prunes so that it will be even more fruitful." Watch your load. Watch how much you're carrying. Number 2, I want to remind you that God is at work in all situations. Remember, as you walk through a new year of opportunity, that God is at work. Remember that when you get into a tough spot, that God is at work in all situations. Genesis 1:2 says this, "Now the earth was formless and empty, Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Even when the situation can only be described as void, without form, and dark, God is still there working. It encourages me to know that when things are confusing and not shaping up the way I would like, and there's more darkness present than I'm comfortable with, that God can be found hovering over that set of circumstances. My friend, God is at work when you don't see it. God is at work when you don't feel it. God is at work when you don't know it. And God is at work when you're confused and when you're angry. Ministry doesn't just happen when you think the situation is ideal. Ministry happens because God is hovering, because He's there, because He's working. That means when I don't see it, feel it, know, or care, God is still engaged. Hostile, confusing, and difficult situations will never stop God from doing His work, working in you and working through you. As you lead with the confidence that God is actively present in your set of circumstances in which you find yourself today. Number 3, remember, as you enter a new year, there will be some conflict. You're going to lead this year, and you're going to bump into some things, and you're going to bump into some conflicts. It says this in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, 8, and 9, we are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. Conflict is part of leadership. Conflict, as a matter of fact, is part of Christianity. We struggle, Scripture says, but not against flesh and blood, against principalities and powers. If your struggle is aimed at a person, if your struggle is aimed at a group of people, if your struggle is aimed at a certain personality, stop. Just stop. Scripture clearly tells us that our struggle is with rulers and authorities and powers of the dark world and spiritual forces of evil. Yeah, there's going to be conflict this year, but don't engage in the wrong battles. Fight the good fight and fight the right battle. Don't fight with each other. Your struggle is not with flesh and blood. If it has flesh and blood attached to it, that's not where your struggle is at. It's bigger than that. It's deeper than that. Your conflict, when you're in conflict, look beyond yourself. Look beyond your preferences, fight the right battles, and refuse to be drug into a battle that is pointless. Some battles are so pointless that even if you win, it doesn't really matter. And my last point today for you this morning, as we're having this cup of coffee together, is get ready to change, because you are going to have your flexibility tested once again in 2021. Leadership and life are not static. There is and there will be much change for you, for your church, for your community, for your family this new year. Society will continue to shift and change. Spiritual environments will shift and change. Change is a wonderful thing when you're the leader who's initiating it, isn't it? We all celebrate change when we're the ones initiating it. But when change is dictated and you're forced to go through change or lead through changes, it can become very taxing. Your commitment to vision and your commitment to scriptural principles must exceed the speed of change and the amount of frustrations that are being created by the change. And if they don't, you're going to find yourself in reaction to the change. Welcome to a new year. It's 2021. Watch your load. Remember that God is at work in all situations. Remember there's going to be conflict, and get ready to be flexible, because we're going to be encountering change together. God bless you, my friends. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'm delighted to walk with you in a new year, and I'm looking forward to the next 3 weekends where the executive officers, Dr. Sam and Dr. Jay, join me for a time of teaching. It's going to be good. God bless you. Lead them well.